Ah, I see you're awake at last.
You traitor!
Yes, I know you must not be very pleased with me right now, but I can assure you, things are not as they seem.
You're one of them.
No, I am not one of them. At least, not anymore.
You're not?
That was many years ago. I was quite another person then. You must believe me when I tell you I no longer have anything to do with that atrocious group of individuals. I am deeply sorry for what they did to your friend, and I do apologize for the way in which I extracted you from their headquarters, but I fear I did not have much of a choice. You had already discovered my name in that book, and I didn't think you were going to come with me voluntarily.
So, where are we going?
Back to London. I have a flat where we can stay whilst we come up with the next course of action.
We're driving back to London?
Yes, you are unconscious for most of the journey. We should be arriving in about 30 minutes.
How did you even know where I was?
All in good time, Mr. Jordan. I know you must have many questions, but let me assure you that I will provide answers as soon as we get to our destination. For now, you must relax. You need all the rest you can get, especially considering what you're going to be up against.
Professor?
Yes, Mr. Jordan?
I think you owe me some explanations.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Jordan, I do. Ask what you must. I will try to answer as best I can.
What made you join the Knights of St. Anthony?
As I said, it was a long time ago. When I joined, they were committed to a noble cause. Not the twisted shadow of their former selves you know today.
What cause was that?
They sought to transcend religion, to bring harmony by establishing a common belief system. However, once I learned about Cardinal Genovese's true intentions, and the great task, I realized the error of my ways. That is when my association with the Knights of St. Anthony ended.
Exactly what is the great task?
Cardinal Genovese believes that by gathering relics from different religions, it will somehow empower him. He seeks to control and unify all religions, emerging as their single leader. The problem is, he will stop at nothing to reach that end, as you have experienced.
So what happens if he succeeds?
I'm not sure. However, I do know he intends to perform some sort of ritual on New Year's Eve once he gathers all the relics.
But I destroyed the exorcism amulet.
Yes, but Genovese is not the type of man who puts all his eggs in one basket. He had planned to take the exorcism amulet last because it was the closest to him. However, he designated one relic as an emergency backup in case any of the others were damaged or destroyed. That means he is on his way to the location of the final relic, the same location he will perform the ritual.
Do you know where that location is?
Unfortunately, I do not. He didn't tell anyone where it was, not even Bianchi.
So basically you're saying we've got 2 days to both find and stop him?
I'm afraid so.
Good thing I work well under pressure. Tell me about Cardinal Genovese.
When I first met him, he was a very young, idealistic priest. I'm not sure what happened to turn him into the cold, bitter man he is today. Perhaps you should do some research on him. It is best to know your enemy, as they say.
How am I supposed to find anything out about him?
I know for a fact he was educated here in London. You may be able to find some records on him somewhere.
Any idea where?
Well, the British Library is an invaluable source for old periodicals. I would suggest going to the British Museum reading room. You can access their database of articles from there.
If it's my only lead, I guess it's worth a shot. Just, who are you exactly?
What do you mean?
Let's face it, you haven't exactly been honest with me. All I know about you is that you may or may not be a criminology professor at Oxford, and that you pretty much showed up out of nowhere and have been shadowing me. So what gives?
Very well, I see your point. It seems a reintroduction is in order. I am Percival Quentin Jones, born and raised here in London, educated at Oxford. You may call me Percy if you wish. I received my criminology degree at Oxford after taking time off to travel the world. Later, I met Cardinal Genovese and joined the Knights of St. Anthony.
Are you really a professor?
No, I'm afraid that was merely a cover story.
Why have you been helping me out all this time?
I have been charged with protecting you.
Charged with protecting me? From what?
I'm sorry, Mr. Jordan. We simply cannot talk about this right now. Rest assured, I will tell you everything before this is all over. You have enough to deal with right now. I don't want to complicate things further.
Okay, fine. But don't think you're off the hook just yet. Do you know anything about all the relics Cardinal Genovese took?
Yes, he started tracking them down many years ago. It was only recently that he began taking them and causing all the paranormal disturbances you've been investigating.
I'm not sure I understand all of this.
I'll do my best to explain. An object on its own cannot have power. A piece of the true cross has no more power than a tea kettle. However, what gives it power is belief. If the belief in this object is strong enough, then it will gain power.
So you're saying if enough people believe the kettle has power, it'll gain some kind of magic properties?
The kettle won't levitate or cast spells, but it will gain a sort of mystical energy from the belief, yes. People do not seem to realise what a great force belief is. Now, if an object with mystical energy is removed, it causes a disruption in the balance of energy around it. If there is another source of mystical energy nearby, the imbalance causes a reaction. In this case, a physical manifestation.
So the skunk ape, the lost galleon, the sea people...
Precisely. All your cases have related to local myths and legends. When relics were taken from these areas, these things people believed in manifested themselves.
But what about Smailholm and Japan?
Smailholm was a different story, one I will tell you soon. As for Japan, Bianchi took the tooth of the Buddha, which caused an Oni, or Japanese demon, to manifest. This Oni visited Yamamoto and told him of the evil means to acquire great riches.
I see. Do you know what happened to Alice?
I am afraid not. As far as I'm aware, she was not and has not been captured by the Knights of St. Anthony. Unfortunately, I don't know any more than that.
Do you think I could borrow that car you brought me here in?
I'm afraid that car is not mine to lend.
You mean, you stole it?
From one of the Knights of St. Anthony, yes. Driving around in it would surely make you easier to spot. Therefore, I would advise against it.
Fair enough. No more questions for now.
As you wish.
Would you mind answering some questions?
If it weren't in my job description, then yes. But as it is, I don't seem to have much of a choice, do I?
What can you tell me about the British Library?
It's over near St. Pancras.
The actual library, you mean?
Yes, this is the British Museum reading room. You did notice the large sign reading British Museum when you entered?
I did, yes.
Good. Anyway, this room used to be the British Library's reading room, but it was moved to the St. Pancras location about 7 years ago.
You have access to the British Library's records, don't you?
We do, yes. It's more convenient to access them here than at the library. Assuming, of course, you just want a brief glance through the periodicals and card catalogue.
That's exactly what I want, yes. I'd like to use one of your computers.
Very well. Please be aware that they are for research purposes only. I don't want to look over and see you playing one of those games.
Games?
Yes, one of those jumpy jump, shooty shoot nonsensical pieces of garbage. Today's youth wasting away in front of them instead of reading.
Yeah, okay. Don't worry. I'm just gonna do some research.
You can use that computer over there, then.
Thanks. How's the librarian biz?
I beg your pardon?
Business. How's the librarian business?
It's not really a business at all, is it?
It was a figure of speech.
I'm sure it was.
You know what? Forget I asked.
Done and done.
I'll just be on my way.
Your Grace, a Mr. Ben Jordan is here to see you.
Ben Jordan? Very well, send him in.
Hello, Father. Thank you for seeing me.
Hello, Ben. What may I do for you?
I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I could.
Certainly.
What can you tell me about the seminary?
We begin the education of all aspiring clergy members here. Our seminary is very well known, and we have had some of our graduates go on to do many things. In fact, we've had several members of the Vatican pass through here.
Pretty prestigious.
Indeed. Were you interested in joining?
Me? Oh no. I was just in the neighborhood and thought I'd pass by.
Just in the neighborhood? I have never heard of anyone being just in the neighborhood and stopping by a seminary.
Well, now you have. Have you been at this seminary long?
I have.
How long exactly?
This will be my 67th year.
No kidding. You must have seen a lot of people come through here.
I have had the privilege to know many fine members of the clergy, yes.
Do you know a Cardinal Genovese?
Nicholas? Yes, I know him. He was a former head of the seminary. When he was appointed cardinal, I took his place. In fact, this used to be his office.
Really?
Yes, I've kept it more or less the same as he had it.
How well did you know him exactly?
I would say quite well. I knew him for several years before he went to Rome.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
Occasionally I correspond with him, yes.
Would you have any idea where he is now?
I'm afraid not. What is this about, young man?
You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you. Let's just say I'm looking for him.
Looking for him? If that's the case, you would be better asking at the Vatican.
Oh, I know. I already met him there. What I need to know is where he's gone.
What makes you think he's left the Vatican?
A reliable source told me he's gone to look for something somewhere.
Pardon? Looking for something?
Yeah, like I said, you wouldn't believe me. Anyway, I should probably get going soon.
Yes, well, I apologize for not being able to assist you further.
It's okay. I guess looking for information on him here was kind of a long shot. Thank you for your time.
A pleasure, my son.
I'll just be going now.
Father Flanagan?
Yes, Your Grace?
It seems we may have a problem.
What sort of problem?
That young man who was just here, he was asking about Cardinal Genovese.
Why would that be a problem?
Ordinarily it wouldn't, but he said some things which concerned me.
Such as?
He said the Cardinal had left the Vatican to go look for something.
You mean?
I had heard that Bianchi had had some trouble retrieving the amulet. Perhaps he failed. That means Genovese has gone after the final relic.
Do you think Jordan knows about the Knights?
He may. I'll see if I can get in contact with someone in the room and see what's going on. In the meantime, have Jordan followed. We may have to keep an eye on him.
Yes, Your Grace.
Any progress?
Not really. I found a little information on Cardinal Genovese, but that's it. I still don't have any idea where he could be.
That is unfortunate.
We're pretty much at a dead end, aren't we?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, you wouldn't? Let's look at the facts for a minute. We have no idea where Cardinal Genovese is. He's going to do some kind of weird ritual in a couple of days. He killed my friend, my girlfriend is nowhere to be found, and we have absolutely no way of finding either her or Genovese. Not to mention, you don't seem to give me a straight answer about certain things I need to know about. So unless you start telling me everything, or have some kind of trick up your sleeve, I would consider ourselves pretty much screwed, wouldn't you?
Now, Mr. Jordan.
Who's that?
I haven't a clue. No one knows where I live. Answer the door, Mr. Jordan, but be on your guard.
Yes, may I help you?
I'm terribly sorry to bother you, sir. I was wondering if you knew where I could find a Mr. Ben Jordan.
Yes, I'm Ben Jordan.
Ah, very good. You choose to cooperate.
Yep, cooperation is my middle name. What exactly is it I'm cooperating with?
I've been sent to fetch you. There are certain people who would be very interested in speaking with you.
You're with the Knights of St. Anthony, aren't you?
Very perceptive.
So, what? I'm supposed to go with you now?
That would be the preferable option, yes.
What's my other option? I'm starting to get really sick of having guns pulled on me.
None of this would be necessary if you just come with me.
Percy, get the door!
Excellent work, Mr. Jordan.
We make a pretty good team. I wonder how the Knights of St. Anthony found us.
I'm not sure. What I do know, however, is that we are no longer safe here. This is not just any member of the Knights. This is Donovan, one of the Enforcers.
Enforcers?
It is their job to deal with any threat to the Knights of St. Anthony, by any means necessary.
So what you're saying is, they're the assassins.
In as many words, yes. If they've sent Donovan, the other two won't be far behind.
So where do we go?
For now, I'm afraid we must part ways. I shall take care of tidying this mess. In the meantime, you try and keep a low profile while I find us some suitable accommodations.
Where am I supposed to go? I don't know anybody in London.
I recommend a pub called the Coach and Horses.
You want me to go drink?
No, you must keep a clear head. I am merely suggesting you go there, get a feel for the locale. You may be inspired.
I really wish you weren't so damn cryptic all the time. But at this point, I don't feel like arguing. Okay, I'll head over there. So, I guess I'll see you soon?
Count on it. Until later, Mr. Jordan.
Wait a minute. Where is the Coach and Horses?